I apologize. I was way too hasty about this. This can totally work. Okay. We got to go back to the beginning. We got to go back to the original Bennett. Does anybody know who Bennett was? I read about this guy named Bennett. It's fucking nuts. He was an attorney that represented Jennifer Flowers. Does anybody remember Jennifer Flowers? Jennifer Flowers, as far as I know, was this woman who alleged that the man who at the time was the president of the United States had engaged her in some really bawdy sexual situation. And it became a scandal. Now, it wasn't as big a scandal as the Monica Lewinsky affair. But here's the thing, Lewinsky doesn't really translate into Spanish, but Flowers does, right? I didn't know that at the time. I had no idea. But what I ended up learning later is that she ended up getting this attorney named Bennett. And that Bennett was very important in dealing with things connected to the cases that had been filed against Bill and Hillary Clinton. Do you have any idea how many cases they tried to bring against them? Oh my goodness, it's ridiculous when you look at the Travelgate and Whitewater and then whatever happened before the Starr report. I mean, it is crazy. But at some point, somebody used me when I was in high school. When I was in high school, I did the simulation of military process. I didn't know that's what it was. They didn't tell me. But I was a JAG court lawyer and I was trying to prosecute and I lost. I mean, I knew I was going to lose when I started. But when you're 17 and they give you an opportunity to learn about a new way of being, and they tell you, yeah, well, it's been scripted, and this is the part you're supposed to play, and then you play it, and you're like, wow, it felt great. I know I lost, but maybe if I did this real, like if I actually did this, I could like actually do it successfully. And if I had more than a script, I might be able to do it right. No. They don't tell you that they're like scripting your life for like the next 25, 30 years. They didn't tell you that. They didn't tell me that either. And they didn't tell me that around the time that the 25-year loan was taken out on me, I was going to run into another attorney named Bennett. It's crazy. It's crazy, right? I mean, it's just a coincidence. It's just a coincidence that, like, let's see, how many years was it? 2017? 22, 23 years later. 20, right in my Muhammad year, I run into another attorney named Bennett. But this time, he's in trouble. The attorney's in trouble, right? So that's one half. Got it? Got it? Because you're going to love the other half, right? Because that's where you get your just desserts, right? Which is, I used to do this thing where I was a reporter and I wrote on articles. And one of the articles was about the campaign to end the death penalty. See, at one point in time, I was known as somebody who was very critical of the police apparatus. There had been this dirty cop who tortured a bunch of people and confessing that they had murdered people when they had him. It took 14 years, but these guys' mothers organized and were able not only to get them out of jail, but they ended up putting a moratorium on the damn death penalty until the governor canceled the damn death penalty. And they haven't been able to get that death penalty started back up in Illinois. You know, the story is that the day after the main guy who got tortured got out of jail, he didn't even go home. We were all waiting in his home. You know that? We were waiting in his home for him to show up. He didn't show up. Come in the morning, come dawn, he's not around. What happened? He went to the governor's house. Right after he got out of jail, he went straight to the governor's house. Talked to him, prayed with him. And that day, the governor shut down the death penalty. You like that story? How about the story about me taking responsibility? See, 25 years ago, somebody thought I needed to take responsibility about where I came from. I did that this morning. You want me to take responsibility about where I come from, the people I come from? It's somehow my responsibility to take out people that do bad things? It's exactly what that airstrike this morning was. After 25 fucking years of gaslighting and somebody else's portfolio swap. All those bad, big old Marines that you thought I was responsible for turned into a bunch of women and children being forced into prostitution camps and red light districts in cities that are probably on their way to trying to legalize marijuana. I did the best I could. But I got this problem with handbags, right? Because they do these things where they have like these shadow governments of guys that are retired, and part of their retirement scheme is to pretend like they're actually an ultra government. And they do things like send ladies between cities after they help rearrange their wives' purse collection. And when you don't hand over your wallet, if you know what I mean, you haven't cleared the deal and they have to hook up another one. So they make sure to transport your fucking ass to another city just in time to seal a $300 million fucking muni deal. And that is where the story starts. 9:32 a.m., August 3rd, 2020. Let's see what happens this year.